Hello, what's up? Welcome to another video. We're doing another journal video because I have an update already. It hasn't even been a week since the last video that I posted about this, and I have an update, and I'm sorry, kind of, but also not really, because I like talking about my journals and my notebooks, and I can do it for hours, and I'm sure a lot of you would like it. The last video that I posted actually did kind of well. It's got like 250 views, which is more than I usually get, so I'm taking that as a good sign. I like to make the journal videos, and I know people like to watch them, so here's another one. My update. There is a lot that has changed, and to me, feels fairly drastic. I forgot to put this one out, too, but I'll put this one over here. A lot has changed mentally, I think, and that's kind of translated into the journals, but it's not like a crazy change. It's all the same books. If you watch the last video, you can tell this is all the same stuff, except there is one new book, which is this one that's in this cover, which we'll get to in a second. But I just want to start by saying a huge shout out to Crystal. She is a YouTuber here on YouTube, and she also makes like kind of lifestyle journal content, kind of like philosophy type of stuff. I don't know how to describe her content, but her channel is just Crystal. I'll link her down below. And I came across this video on my like homepage on YouTube, and it's called "Your Notebook is Meant to Be Messy," and I've been feeling that kind of buzz of having a messy book for a while, and I talked about it in the last video too, that I just want something that's like can kind of hold everything and not be so rigid, and I can just be loose in it and write what I want and not worry about it looking good. For some reason I am always like, it has to look good, because I have a thought that I might post something, even though I usually don't. But I always am like, I need it to look good in case I want to post it. But that's not the truth. It needs to serve as a way to like supplement my brain. And I saw that video of hers, and she just articulated everything in a way that I've been struggling to articulate myself. And watching that video really made something click for me. And I grabbed the book that's in here, which is just a plain sketchbook. It's an old sketchbook I have, an old moleskin sketchbook. And yeah, this has been my everyday carry. I take this with me everywhere. My rule is, if my phone is going somewhere, the book is going somewhere too. There should be not one situation where my phone can go somewhere and my book can't. And I need to look at the journal as not being an inconvenience to take, because it is a supplement to me. And if I'm bored, I have something to do at all times. I can always draw, I can always write about something, and I can always keep it with me. And yeah, I mean, if the phone, I don't see any situation where I wouldn't be able to bring the book in too. I literally brought this into a Claro concert on Sunday, and I took it to Disneyland. There's no rhyme or reason why I wouldn't be able to take it somewhere. So that is my new rule. And if I can't take the book somewhere, I'm not going to the place. For whatever reason, if they're like, no journals, then I'm not going. Who says no notebooks? I don't know. But if that ever were to happen, I'd be like, I'm not going here. So let's get into it. I'll start with the biggest update, which is this book, and kind of explain its purpose and what I'm doing. And I'll also show you this little book. This is what I use to document the books that I'm currently using, so that one day when I look back, I have all of my books coded. Each book has a code, and it's organized crazily, I know, but I'll show you this and explain it in a minute. But let me show you what this one is first. So this is just the Kokuyo systemic cover that I used to have on my Hobonichi cousin, but right now it's holding this moleskin sketchbook. I don't think I'm going to keep it in this cover. It's kind of just like I want it in here right now for the time being, but typically I probably won't have this in a cover. It'll just be like loose out and about because it's a hardcover book. It's very durable. I've had this book since 2017. As you can see, Inktober 2017. And in 2019, I wrote, ha, psych, it's 2019 now. And I never did Inktober 2017. And then in 2023, I tried to use this book again for what I'm using it now for. Well, no, I tried to use it as a commonplace and it didn't work. But I wrote the same thing, ha, psych, it's 2023 now, and I'm just now using it. And then on Sunday, I wrote, ha, psych, it's 2024, and now I'm using it as a journal. Hope it works. And I don't know, I just like the messiness of this, you know? It's cool that I've written these little things about different parts of my life, and I think that's what is important with a notebook or a journal, is to document yourself and be able to look back at yourself and see these things and have like an honest, raw version of yourself. If you're trying to make everything perfect and look cool for Instagram and Tumblr and whatever, I think you might miss stuff like this because there's no rules in this book, and I try to be as loose and as fluid as I can possibly be. And I don't know, it just adds that level of character. Like here, I wrote 2023 because I was going to use this last year, and then just cross it off and put a 4. I don't know. It's just like little things like that to me are just, I don't know. They provide character, I guess, for lack of a better term, and just makes me feel, I don't know. It feels like me, in a way. So yeah. This was pasted in here last year along with this sticker, and then I just started writing in here the other day, and it really stuck with me. I just like that I can scribble, I can draw, I can write, I can do whatever, and I'm not worried about it looking good. There's smudges of ink everywhere, and it's just a testament to my brain, and I think it does a great job at doing what it needs to do. Like this, I wrote, I'm actually going to cover that. This I wrote in my car the other day, but I'm going to cover it right now. As I was sitting in standstill traffic for like 15 minutes, we didn't move. I wasn't moving at all. Completely still, and I put my car in park, and I took out this journal, and I started writing. Because I could. I didn't care that it was going to be messy. There were no rules, and I could just do whatever I wanted to do. This is from last year, so I don't know, nothing crazy. This was when I was trying to use it as a commonplace. You can see I did like the kind of margin thing that I used to do. It's in this one, and if you watch the last video, I kind of showed you, but I'll maybe show you again. But yeah, it worked, and then it didn't work. I also love the sketchbook paper because I like how thick it is. I feel like I can paste things on here, and it's not going to make the page super heavy because the page is already heavy itself. And I don't know, I don't like ghosting. The Hobonichi cousin obviously ghosts a lot, and I don't mind it in there. But for this book, it is a journal, it is a commonplace, it is a sketchbook, and it is a scrapbook all in one. So I want it to have that paper thickness so they don't have to worry about ghosting. If I want to use watercolor in here, or if I want to use a Posca pen, you know. So I do like that it doesn't ghost. Here's just like a running to-do list of things to do. I'm just going to cover random things. I don't know why I feel like covering them, but I do. But this is like a sketch that I did for my friend Grace's birthday. Was on Saturday, and I sculpted an Emily the Strange X Alice Madness Returns sculpture. So I sketched it out, and I don't know, it's just stuff like this. Like I want to have these as memories, and I can have it all in one place. And then I kind of just paste things in here because the blank page, like a full-on blank page, is a little intimidating. So I do paste things in here to start with to give me something to work with. But yeah, like this is for we went to Disneyland for Grace's birthday the day before, And I don't know, I brought it with me, and we played tic-tac-toe in line and just waited. This is just a coupon, but I pasted the locker receipt in here. I drew this while in line for Rise of the Resistance. I journaled in line too, and I don't know, it's just, it gives me something to do, and it's also just, I do like to look back at these like smaller memories, stuff that's not as important per se. But yeah, this was for Claro. I saw Claro on Sunday, and I brought the journal in, and Cole and I were playing Hangman, and it's just, I don't know, I'm gonna like to look back in 10 years and see these little scribbles of moments with other people, tic-tac-toe in line at Matterhorn, it's just cool stuff to see. And I can be loose in here, I did a little sketch of Asteroid, and this has a bunch of notes from different points of the day, my wristbands from the Fonda, just stuff that I want to do. Here's a little otter holding a guitar. I saw this on Pinterest and I wanted to draw it, and I felt like Claro would be an otter if she was an animal. She gives very otter vibes to me, so Claire, otter, Claro, tur, I don't know. But I don't know, I just put little blurbs too, like not everything is cohesive. These are all separate ideas. This one was from me driving home, and I put, on the drive home from LA, I saw a wildfire that was near Irvine, and I stopped to watch it. I feel so bad for the animals, they must be so scared. And like, that doesn't mean anything necessarily, but I feel like in 5 to 10 years, even a year from now, I just like to see my thoughts. And it doesn't have to ever be a full page, it can just be a blurb with a drawing and paste stuff around, I'm so fine being loose in here. I'm just gonna cover that because I don't know what I wrote there. But like, this is something I have never done. I've never done anatomy studies, I know, and I've always wanted to, and having this book allows me to be so free that I can do this and not care. Like this, I don't love this. I don't think I did a good job here, but at least I did it, So I followed a couple studies from this account, KChem_. They're on TikTok and on Instagram. And I just followed some quick little studies, and they take like 3 minutes each, and it's just better than doing nothing. But I don't know, I've drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's something under here, but I don't like it, so I covered it. 8, 9, 10. I've drawn 10 things in the last 3 days. Actually, I drew something in the back too. I drew another asteroid. So I've drawn, even if it's not crazy, but it's something, and it just allows me to be messy and creative and not have pressure. And I think that's when creativity really begins, and is where you can, really just experiment and explore. I am often feeling like I'm not super creative, I wish I was more creative at times, and I think this is allowing me to do that, whether it's just making the title something a little extra than just writing the word, or it's a full-on sketch, it just gets my brain going, and I find that I'm wanting to spend every second of my day in here drawing or writing or taking notes on things that I see throughout the day. And that is the importance of having a messy book and having a journal that you can use as a journal and not have a pressure surrounding it. A lot of these books have a pressure to me, and that's okay, but I think you also have to balance it. It's like a moderation thing, and this allows me to do that. These are some sketches for a commission that I'm working on, and then everything else is blank, but I still have quite a good amount of paper in here. My only hesitation with this is that it's fairly small. I don't know how long it's going to take me to go through them. I'm hoping I can... Whoa, sorry, I just hit my chair. I'm hoping that I can spend like 2 months at a time in a book at least. I'd like to spend more time, but I don't know how quickly I'm going to go through it. I might love it and blow through these in a matter of weeks, or it might take months. But I'm, again, going to be lenient with myself. There's no rules to it. And the only downside is that if I do use these a lot, they're like $25 each, which I'm going to pay it either way, but I would prefer not to pay it if I don't have to. But if this is what works the best for me, then I'm okay paying $25 every couple months for it. It's necessary for me and my brain. I feel like I just have to do it. It's part of me. And yeah, I just need to allow that freedom. And I've been taking this with me everywhere I go. So that's the big update. The last thing that you knew was that this Traveler's Notebook was going to be what this should have been. Or this was going to be... What? Yeah, what this should have been. This should have been in here. It was what I thought was going to happen, but it didn't happen. I just find that carrying this for me feels too formal for some reason. But I do like the pockets, and I wish that's why I have it in a cover right now so that I can put stuff in it. But yeah, I'm going to use this now as my proper journal. So in here, I'm not going to open it because I've written some stuff in here, but I'm going to use it as like strictly for writing down thoughts and feelings and longer form writing. Like I'll probably start stuff in here and then bring it into here and finish it in full. And I do want to do my daily pages because I'm starting the Artist's Way this week and I need somewhere to write it. So that's what this is going to be. The sketchbook back here, I don't really use it. I don't love sketching in this book, so that's why I showed you last time. The last time I was sketching here was June 6th, and it was small. So I'm going to use this also as a supplement to the Artist's Way book. So that's kind of proper journal and Artist's Way. And this one is pretty much going to stay at home unless I'm doing one of the artist dates that you're supposed to do. Then I'll probably take that. Nothing has changed with this. This is just for school. Plan it, and then I take my notes in the back based on my lectures, because I don't take that many notes typically. Yeah. So here's another decent change. These two books. This one, as you know, if you watched the last video, is my work notebook. This is the one I do all of my product sketches in. I take all of my notes. I do, expression sheets, and I work on things for my characters in here. And I don't know, anything that's art, work related goes in here, stuff like that. Sketches for products, comic books, stuff like that. But I'm also considering using this book once I finish this over here, because I have so much left. I've only used like this much of the book. I have all this left. The only thing is the paper is much thinner and it does ghost a little bit, like you can kind of see through. And I don't love that. It kind of really bothers me. So I probably won't use that for this book. But I also realized I don't reach for this book that often because it's a little too open. I do need some structure because a lot of the art stuff that I do involves planning. So that's where my Hobonichi cousin comes in, which I was kind of like, I don't know what to do with it. Now I know what to do. I'm using this as what this used to be, because I do like to sketch in here, but just very quick little sketches. So I did a whole entry on this idea. And now I'm going to use this as my workbook. And I'll do quick little sketches. I tried sketching in here the other day. I think I showed you that last time, just to do it, because I've never drawn in here. And I feel like I can use this for what it needs to be, or what this needs to be, you know? Like, this works for what it's supposed to. This did not. So now I have a reason for this one, and also gives me a reason to buy the 2025 Han cover. I want to get the one that has the fox on it. I think I said that last time. It has the fox in the riding a bicycle with the moon in the basket. I really want that one for next year, so now I have a reason to buy it, to use it for my work stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy with everything now, and I know I say every time I think this is going to work, but I genuinely think it will. I think I've stopped listening to what people intend certain books for. Like, I was intending for this one to be a catch-all like this, because that's what people use the Traveler's Notebook for. I was intending for this one to be a commonplace in a planner, because people intend it to be that, you know. And I listened to myself, and I realized the things that work better for me for certain books, and I think I'm happy with this. And it also minimizes my setup, because basically this one right now is inactive, is what I call them, when I'm not using a book, or I'm not using a certain code, which I'll show you in a minute. This one stays on home unless I'm specifically going to use this somewhere, like I plan to use it somewhere. So you know what that leaves me with? This one also stays home. It's for school, so if I'm not going to go do schoolwork, I don't bring it with me. A lot of my journals are like intentional journals, but now, at most, my everyday carry is these 2 books, which is so much nicer than taking 3 or 4 books. And if I really wanted to minimize space, I would put the Hobonichi into this cover and take this one out, which I guess technically doesn't save any space. It's the same like mass and volume, but to me it feels smaller if I put this in here. But this one also is going to come with me less. I think if I'm going to go out for the day, and I know I'm going to, like, if Grace and I are going to go down to the city and hang out all day, and we're going to stop somewhere at a cafe, I will probably bring this and this one. But if I'm just going to go run to Target, if I'm just going to go out really quickly, this will go with me. This is going everywhere, whether it's in this cover or not, but this book will be with me everywhere. Anywhere my phone goes, this goes. So, and it's also kind of a way to get me to be off my phone and trade screen time for time of the book. But that's less of the focus of it. It's more, you know, just for myself to have something to do and to be journaling as much as I can. But now my everyday setup is super minimal, because it used to be I'm not kidding, I would take all of these books with me somewhere, and now I only take 2. So everything's working out so far. I will obviously keep you updated, and the next video I'll probably do some sit down time on the journal. I'm not going to do any journaling today. Today's kind of just like an update video, because I just really feel like I need to get this out there and explain it in depth. But yeah, those are the updates. I'm going to show you, or I'm going to do a quick journal thing right now, because I need to update this little green book, which has all of my organizations for my books. So here's what I do. I think I explained it in the last video, or I think I actually did it on a TikTok, so maybe I didn't. But this green book is what I use to document what books are currently being used and what they're being used for, and each book has a code. Like here, I have notebook codes. So CMMN is for commonplace, so I'll just do like the codes, the letter codes, and then add the number, as in how many I've done. And I have a last to be archived list, so these are the last books that I put in my archive system. This doesn't mean this is the book that's currently active. It's the following number that's currently active, and that's when I write those down in here as a journal entry. But these are just what's in the archive. So I updated that this book is being used as my current journal, sketchbook, commonplace, and epicenter journal. So all of those 4 codes are in this one book, and that's written down so that when I go in 10 years to look back at this and I'm like, where the hell was the journals and the sketchbook and the commonplace for this time? What was I doing? I can look at the journal entry and be, oh, everything's in this one book from September of 2024 to whenever it ends. But I need to tag this book with one of these. These are inspired by Megan Rhiannon. I saw her do this, but I wanted to make it with my designs, so I made these for myself. But that idea that she had was brilliant, and I love the system. So I'm going to quickly update this. This one doesn't even have a tag in it yet, so I'm going to paste it in. Here's my everyday carry pencil box, pen box. It's mostly pens. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy with this setup, and I hope that it works as well as I feel like it's working right now. I just think having this much creativity is great for me and is going to do wonders in the long run, and I'm excited to watch and see how this book develops. The last time I felt this kind of like a inspiration burst was from using a tiny what was I using? I was using a super small, I think it was smaller than A6, just barely. It was the Restructuring 1917 pocket size notebook, and I was using that one as my commonplace when I first started commonplacing last year, and I felt so like in love with that book. Like I wanted it everywhere, and this is giving me the same vibe and feeling. Like I would sketch in there, I would write little notes, I would write big notes, I would write journal entries in there, and this is giving me that same vibe, whereas the other books kind of haven't done that for me. So this is very exciting for me, and I'm really happy right now. So I'm hoping that it sticks and, lasts. So in here I'm just going to put that this is a journal common and sketchbook. So this one is a journal, commonplace, sketchbook. So the codes for this one are, I think, journal 005, common 003, and SKB 005, I think is what they are. I probably should have checked before I wrote them down. Yep. And it's also EPC 002, technically. So I'll put other EPC 002, journal 5, commonplace 3, sketchbook 5. So I'm just gonna write like used as catch all EDC system. And then in these couple lines, they kind of put like the highlight pages of it, of things that I feel like I'm gonna look for one day, just to make it easier to be like, to find out what's in certain books. But yeah, that's the update that I have for you. I'll do a journaling video, like a proper sit down journal segment video in a bit, like a few days maybe. But yeah, also if somebody wants to see my pencil case organization too, like what my favorite pens are and everything, let me know. I will totally do that. I would do it right now, but this video is already 30 minutes and I didn't think it was going to be that long, and I also really have to pee, so I'm gonna go. But yeah, that is my journal update. And yeah, if you want to buy any of my art, I make stickers, prints, sculptures. I sell little ghosties. They're little sculptures. I'll show you really quickly. These are the 4 new ones that I have in the shop right now for Halloween. They're just little ghost sculptures that I make and paint them all myself, and just fun little decor items. So if you want to get some of those, I also have prints, stickers, enamel pins, tote bags, sculptures, stuff like that. If you want to support me in my art, you can check out my shop down below, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Tumblr if you want. But yeah, that's all for the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you try this method. Get a messy book, please. Use it for a week. I promise you, your creativity is going to explode. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.